everyone, I'm back for another video, and today I want to talk about an older palette that for some reason, I don't really understand it, just draws me in. It's one of those palettes that like, it's a basic bitch palette. It's so basic, I just don't understand why. Like, I see it and I'm like, oh yeah, oh, I'm so tempted by it. I haven't got it, but I'm really tempted by it. And I see other people on YouTube use it and I'm like, oh, it's so nice. That's really nice. It looks really nice. But I think possibly one of the reasons why I like it so much is because I think it looks gorgeous on people with dark skin, and obviously I have got dark skin. But I think that's what draws me in. But anyway, it's the Viseart Cashmerie Etendu Palette. And I've never tried any Viseart shadows before. That's possibly another reason why I think I do want to try it, because I've never tried any Viseart before, and I always hear people like say nothing but good things about them, really. And I think I really like how compact they are as palettes. They're really like they pack a lot in for like such a like small amount of space that they pick up, so I think that could be good for like travel and things. So I'll pop a picture of it up here anyway so you can see. So first of all, the packaging, purple and orange, like my two favourite colours, so that could be part of the reason why it's like sucking me in. And then the shades, like I said, they're just such, like, they're such it's like basic bitch 2.0, sort of like, not like a really boring like neutral palette, but it's like neutral palette with a twist, sort of like one step up from just like really basic neutral palette. So that's, I think, why it's drawing me in. But when I actually look at it, I think it kind of reminds me a little bit of the Colourpop Give It To Me Straight palette, which I actually do own, because you've got the sort of like mauvey tones with like some like warm neutrals, mattes, a light like pale bony shade, and then some like light mid-tone warm shimmers with some like pinky purpley shimmers as well, which you've got there. The only three I think that the Colourpop palette don't have is those three in the bottom corner, the black, the sort of like grey, bronzy grey, and then the really pale cool tone shade on those three on the bottom row. So I think those are the only three that the Colourpop palette doesn't take care of. But then I thought, I've got those shades in the Natasha Denona Glam palette possibly, and then that's when I thought, actually, is this palette just a sort of like a combination of the Colourpop Give It To Me Straight and the Natasha Denona Glam palette? Is this just another case of me trying to buy the same thing over and over again? So that's what I'm like drawn to for some reason, even though I already own it, but the packaging is lovely on this. And I'm also curious about the quality of Viseart shadows because I've not tried them before. I would be curious to see if there's like a big difference between those. So anyway, I own the Colourpop Give It To Me Straight palette and I own the Natasha Denona Glam palette, so I thought I would try to do a look using those, and see if I could sort of quiet the urges for me to buy this palette, because it's on sale as well, it's reduced, so that's what's tempting me. But let's try to get that out of my system, so I'm just going to do a look. It's a basic palette, even though it is gorgeous, so the look's not going to be like mind blown out of this world. It'll be a basic look, but let's see what I can do. Okay, so I've got the Colourpop Give It To Me Straight, which is actually the oldest palette in my collection. Like, this is the first palette I ever got, so being used and abused. And the Natasha Denona Glam palette. So I think, looking at the Viseart one, pretty much the majority of these, I mean, look at the state of it, it's a show, isn't it? The majority of these really, it's got the sort of like plummy shimmer, it's got the like mauve mattes, and the sort of lighter shimmers. It's got that like one dark matte, but I think that's a little bit more purple than the one in the Viseart palette. It's got like the golden shimmers, the light sort of like pinky shimmers. I think that whole palette like is really similar, but I think what it misses is from the bottom of the last three shades in the Viseart palette. So for those, thought I could use some from Natasha Denona. So probably these three. So lash line, inner corner and outer eyelids. These aren't how the palette comes, as I say, because these I've dropped this and they all fell out. But these three, so that one for the like darker matte, that one for the very lightest shimmer, and then that one for the sort of like grey bronzy shimmer. I think I'd just use the Colourpop palette with those three shades added, because I think they're actually really quite good, quite close. So let's get started. Okay, so I'm back. I've put on mascara, blush, highlight, and I've also turned the lights up a little bit because I think it wasn't, the colours weren't showing up true to life, so I've turned the lights up a little bit. And this is the finished look. I've also put some lip gloss on. I'm actually really happy with it. I also put a copper pencil on my waterline, if you can see there. And yeah, I like, the one thing I always forget, and then when I put the Colourpop palette on, is I know it's like not groundbreaking or like anything new or astonishing, but I always just feel really pretty when I wear this palette, and people always compliment my eye colour or my eyeshadow when I wear it. I do think it is really flattering for blue eyes, and it probably would be, actually, do you know what, it would be flattering on all eye colours because it's got the, like, the pinky purples, which look great on green and brown eyes as well. So I think it's really flattering on all eye colours. And so I didn't actually use any of the Natasha Denona palette. I didn't use any of those like cooler tone shades, but I set aside to use. I think maybe I'm obviously was just swayed more to the warm tones today. This is the type of thing I would sort of like wear on a day-to-day basis. Maybe it's a lot of makeup for most people, but this is what I would wear. This is my version of like a basic neutral eye. I think that like the shimmers in this are really gorgeous. They're like, I don't know if you can see, they are just like the tones and like the textures and stuff is really nice in this one. So I'm happy with it. As it made me want to buy the Viseart palette less? No. It has, however, made me feel better about the fact that you can't buy this Colourpop palette anymore. Because this is discontinued, and like I said, I have literally had it for like years, and I've used it so much, and I just like pull it out and use it all the time, and I'm always like, oh, I forgot how much I love this palette when I use it. But it is discontinued, and I've got some like quite deep divots and a lot of them there. So maybe when I've hit pan, if I still feel the same way about this palette, I could buy the Viseart one as a replacement, if it's still available. So I'm rolling the dice a bit there. Or maybe if it gets like significantly reduced, like half price, maybe I'll buy it then, because I know that I like those shades, I'll use them shades, and if the quality is as good as what everyone else says it is, then I'll be, it'll be money well spent. I'll use it and I'll be happy with it. But for the time being, I'll just probably be pulling this bad boy out a bit more, and then I'll try to do some of the cooler tone looks from it with this as well. So that was the video, and this is look for today. What did you think? Let me know down below, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.